So I just want to start a quick review of, as a forensic investigator, what do we do when we come across a dead body in the field that has insect evidence on it? And I want to start off by saying, hey, no fly is going to lay eggs on you if you're alive. So we mark the laying of eggs or oviposition as the time of death. So that is really our checkpoint. We are starting time when eggs are laid. And so that'll give us an idea as to when a person died. As the eggs are laid in the body, it develops into a maggot or a larva, and then ultimately a pupa, and then hatches adults. However, let's say as a forensic investigator, we come across the body and there are maggots on the body. What we're going to do is we're going to collect those maggots and collect them in a vial to freeze time. So that way we know what instar they were in. We have no way of determining that in the field. If I were even a really good forensic entomologist, you need to take measurements to be able to determine where, what instar they're in. Not only that, we don't know what species they are. So we need to be able to hatch them into adults to see what species they are. So I'm going to collect some in a vial to freeze time, and then some in a specimen cup, there on the right with little holes on top. So I can take them back to the lab to rear them. And so here I am in the lab, right? I take them in the specimen cup and put them in that rearing chamber at a very specific temperature, and they hatch as adults. And in doing so, I can identify them. I've timed out how long it took for me to go from larva to adult at a very specific temperature. And then I can, and in IDing the fly, I can then go back to my vial and identify which one, how big those larvae are, and determine, oh, hey, they're in third instar because this species is this measurement in third instar. So now we know the species they are. We have lab data of how long it took at a certain temperature to go from third instar to adult, and we know that they were third instar. Great. So what we do next is we go into the books, right? We look at the published life cycle. We know how long it took to go from egg to adult. We know how long it took for the end of the life cycle, just third to adult. And if we subtract the two, we can get the beginning of the life cycle. And that is what is going to represent our time of death, right? The egg starts time of death, and the third instar is when we found the body. So how long since discovery has it been since that person died? And so on this, we did before, we just did in hours, but as we've learned, we actually started to add in not just the hours, but also the temperature, because insect development is temperature dependent. So we need to know degree hours, the amount of energy that it takes to go from one stage to the next. So degree hours is an amount of energy. So in talking about that, let's start something new, right? So I have my, I have my egg to adult as my full life cycle. Adult. And then in the field, I have the end of my life, or right, this is where I've collected in the field. And then I hatch them as adults, whatever that may be, right? I don't know what phase they are yet, but I'm going to find out due to my awesome lab skills, right? And then the beginning of my life cycle is what we're trying to find out, right? From egg to wherever we collected. So this right here is the big question mark. We have this due to studies that other people have done. We have this according to our lab studies. And so what we're trying to do is find egg to collection, that amount of energy or that amount of time, because that will tell me how long since death, or post-mortem interval, PMI. Awesome. So we're going to move forward into the worksheet that I gave you. And so I have highlighted some important information for you. So we'll start with the word problem. So a body was discovered on March 20th in a cabin. So actually, I'm going to write this down. All right, March 20th. That's my birthday, by the way. So that's my discovery. That's what I'm going to start collecting. And so in order to determine postmortem interval, the maggots were collected at 3 p.m. So I'm also going to write that down, okay? 3 p.m. I took them back to the lab and I raised them, or I reared them at 18 degrees centigrade, and they emerged as adults at 3 a.m. on March 25th. So, right, I take them back to the lab and I'm raising them at 18 degrees, and they hatch as adults at 3 a.m. on March 25th. So I ask you, how many hours is that from March 20th at 3 p.m. to March 25th at 3 a.m.? So first things first, how many hours is that, right? So take a minute. I'm going to pause. Okay, so the number of hours from March 20th at 3 p.m. to March 25th at 3 a.m. would give me, right, one day would be March 21st at 3 p.m., 22nd, 23rd, 24th at 3 p.m. So that's 4 days so far. And then from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. is 12 hours. So it's actually 4.5 days, or 4 days and 12 hours. So what's that total? I'm just gonna, oops. Oh, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to add, right, 4 times 20. And there aren't 25 hours in a day. 24 hours in a day plus 12, I got 108 hours. So from the time that it hatched, the time that I collected until the time that it hatched is 108 hours. So that is really important, because I am looking at, this here, right? From this time here until this time here, it was 108 hours at 18 degrees. So how many degree hours is that? I just have to multiply them. So I'm going to come back to my calculator. So I have 108 hours times 18 degrees. That's degree hours. It's 1944. 1,944 degree hours, or ADH, accumulated degree hours. Okay, so I have the end of the life cycle. That's how much energy it takes from that fly to get from the middle of its life cycle to the end of its life cycle. Now, looking at the problem a little more, it's telling me that they were third instar larvae. Okay, so they were third instar. So I know that it takes this blowfly to go from third instar to adult. It needs 1,944 degree hours. That's the amount of energy that it takes. Okay. Now, the species found has a published life cycle of 286 hours at 21 degrees. That's the whole life cycle. So 286 hours at, oh my gosh, my writing's terrible. At 21 degrees Celsius, 286 times 21 degrees is 6,006. That means that in order for the fly to do its whole life, it takes 6,006 degree hours. That's the amount of energy that it takes. Now I know the end of its life cycle takes 1944. So how long does the beginning of its life cycle take? All I need to do is just subtract the two numbers. So I'm going to subtract 6,006 minus the end of its life cycle to get me the beginning of its life cycle. So 4,062 is my magic number. Right? Yay. Should I do lasers? I'm going to do lasers. That's how important it is. Woo. 4062. 4062. 4062. I need to get to 4,062 degree hours in order for my insect to go from egg to third instar, which is where I found the body. If it's less than that, then I wouldn't find the third instar. I would find like a second instar or a first instar. But if it's beyond that, then I'll probably find a pupa or something like that. So in order for the body to have what I found, I had to have hit 4,062 degree hours. So now how do we use this in figuring out time of death? So coming back to this here, we have this chart. And so my question to you is, what time, how many hours was the person laying there on March 20th? So again, remember, we found this person at 3 p.m. on March 20th. So we know the person wasn't there all day on the 20th because we came in at 3 p.m. So the amount of hours that's passed on March 20th that we'd have no idea about is only 15 hours, right? That's 3 p.m. is 15 hours into the day. All the rest of the days we're not sure about. You could have been laying there half the day. It could have been laying there all day. And so we're just going to err on the side of caution, and we're going to give us 24 hours down the line. Down the line, down the line, down the line. Okay, you guys get the idea. All right, fabulous. Now, I just need to multiply to get my daily energy, just like we did before in those fly examples. So let's do that. I have 16.1 times 15 equals 241.5. Great. Now I'm going to go back to 15 degrees times 24 degree hours. 15 times 24 is 360. Fabulous. And now we're going to keep on going. On the 18th, March 18th, I have 12.8 times 24, 307. Now I could keep going and do this whole column down here and then accumulate, but I'm going to end up doing more work than I need to. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to accumulate as I go. So we know that, right, the first day is the first day, but I'm going to accumulate. So remember, I'm going to add what I had before to what I have for that day. And then ultimately I'm going to bring it on over. So 241 plus 360 equals 601. 601. Now, did I get that wrong? I don't think I think I forgot to, oop, nope, point two. I forgot my point two. All right. So now 601 plus 307.2 is 908.2. And I'm going to keep on going until I finish. So you guys should do it along with me. I'm going to keep going, but you guys go do it also so you get practice. I know what day it is because I made this worksheet. But you guys don't know what day it is. $19.4 times 24. Ooh, I'm using my calculator up. 19.4 times 24 is 465.6. Boring, right? You guys should be working on your own also, because it's really important that you guys know how to do this. I'm going to show you a shortcut if I have time. All right, plus what I had before. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so close. So close, you guys. Okay, 18.9 times 24. Are you working with me? You should be working with me. You should not even be watching me right now. You should be doing your own thing so you know how to do it. What's that? 34.93. Oh my gosh, I'm so close. 16.1 times 24. Is this going to be it? Right? Remember my magic number, 4062. Am I getting there? Oh my gosh, I'm so close. 34.93. Oh my gosh. Wait, what did I just do? I did it. Wait, it's okay. I forgot to write it down. I got really excited. So, 79.4. But you guys have it. So what do I even care, right? You're doing it with me. You're getting it. It's all clicking for you. It's making sense, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is this it? I did it. 42, 40. I probably messed up somewhere, right? Maybe you guys have different numbers than me. But look, it passed it, 42. So that means that this guy died on the 10th, someday on the 10th. You know, when? I don't know, maybe sometime later in the day. I'm sorry, earlier in the morning, because it's, you know, early morning on the 10th. But a day gives us a lot of information. So that's awesome. All right. Now, moving on, I just want to give you guys a better way to do this, because, I filled it out already. I don't want you guys to see it. Shh. Don't look. Don't look. Hold on. I'm actually going to, can I move this bar? I want to add in a new, um, sheet. Or whatever. Make a new one. All right. So I have my temperature. And I want to show you guys how to do this when it comes to, well, we know it's the 10th, right? When it comes to Google Sheets. Because if you don't know, if you do know how to do it the other way, that's great. But like, why not have a shortcut, right? So, accumulated. I had it filled out from a different class. Sorry about that. All right, everyone. So what I'm going to do is, just like I did before on March 20th, the guy was definitely there for 15 hours, but the rest of them, we don't know. And honestly, I don't feel like filling out 24 each time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight 2 of these boxes because I don't want it to go up. I don't want it to go 25, 26, 27. I want it to see that it's a pattern, 24, 24, and just repeat 24. So if you saw, I can just drag it down. So you go over to the corner of the box, it makes it into that black plus sign, and you just drag it. And that I'll show you that again. So here I am in my daily energy. In order for Google Sheets or Excel to see that you have a formula, you need to put an equal sign. And what I want it to do is I want it to multiply my temperature times my hours. And see, I'm clicking on the box I want it to use. And I'm just going to do that. It's asking me to autofill, but I don't want to do that because I want to show you. If I click on a cell, that blue box right there, if I hover over it, I get this black plus sign. And that's how I can just drag it down. And now, in the same way I did before, I need that equal sign, and I'm going to accumulate. So I want what I had before plus what I have for the day to give me my accumulated time. And the same thing, I'm going to hover over that box with the black plus sign coming up and just pull it down. And there I have it, right? I just surpassed my 4062 at 4247. See, my work was wrong before, but it's all good, okay? So this is the reason to use a tool that's available to us, right? But honestly, if you do it by hand, that's totally fine too. Whatever works for you. But this is a little shortcut. If you feel like you don't want to do all that math, you can have the machine do it for you. And so with that, I am going to bid you farewell. If you have any questions, please reach out as per usual, and I will see you the next time.